Today's podcast, brought to you from the amazing city of Kuala Lumpur, talks about something that's so obvious that maybe I'm being a bit ridiculous by mentioning it, but considering what I see, I don't think it's that obvious, right? I'm sure everyone listening to this podcast has been to a high-end restaurant, right? You've been to a fancy restaurant, a nice fancy French restaurant, a fancy Italian restaurant, and so on. And you know, when the food arrives at your table, it looks amazing. It's like they took stuff that you have in your refrigerator and they turned it into this mosaic cornucopia of wonderful flavors and aromas, right? Now, the reason why they can do that is they follow a principle called plating in the kitchen, right? Yeah, they are as messy as you are. Trust me, if you've ever been to the back of a kitchen of a world-famous restaurant, you see they are messy. They're not dirty, but they're messy. You know, things look bad. But all the chefs bring everything together, and then the head chef plates it. He takes everything together and makes it look good, sends out a clean plate. Now, plating has some commonalities with management consulting. It always baffles me how ugly and untidy people make their calculations, right? I was sitting yesterday and doing a case with one of our clients in Kuala Lumpur, and this lady brings two big pencils with her with these huge erasers at the end, stacks of paper, and she will do some calculations. She will constantly erase it and blow the erasing leftovers, waste, onto me. And 10 minutes into the case, you've got all the erasing dustings all over the table and a little bit on my lap. It looks like I've got a severe dandruff problem, which I don't. But I'm pretty sure the waitress didn't think that when she came past the table. So anyway, this lady is furiously scribbling on a sheet of paper and then vigorously erasing it. It looks like she's trying to erase something from her past that she's not proud of. But not only does her sheet look really bad, and it's really untidily written, it looks really bad. She's made my life also horrible by putting all of her erasing dustings all over me. The principle of plating is that you are judged not only on how you do the case, but on how the case looks when you do it on a sheet of paper. And I ask our candidates now to load up, take a photo on their iPhone immediately after a session with us and load it up onto our online system so I can comment on it. And if the sheet of paper doesn't look neat, what do you think my judgment of you is? If food in a restaurant is delicious, but it looks like the chef went up 2 flights of stairs, put a plate on the bottom, right at the bottom, below 2 flights, went up with a pot and poured it down 2 flights of stairs and it dropped onto your plate, how would you feel about that food? You probably wouldn't eat it, right? No matter how good it's going to taste. It's the same with your sheets of papers and your calculations. Make sure that you write neatly. And you know at the end of every case, the interviewer asks to keep your calculations, right? Either the sheet of paper is going to make them say, you know what? This person is very logical, very neat, very structured. I want them to join us. Or this person's sheets are a mirror image of the way they think. It's horrible. Do not take plating in inverted commas for granted. It's a very important principle. You must make sure that no matter what you do, you lay out everything in a logical and very, very structured manner. Otherwise, you are going to set yourself up for failure. I hate it when people write untidily. They've got 3 sheets in front of them. They're moving from sheet to sheet and they're making a lot of noise. Everything looks untidy. They basically don't look like someone's in control. I hate it when people erase repeatedly and they make that horrible erasing sound and they sort of dust off the shavings and it goes all over the place. All of those things contribute to your image. At the end of the day, a consultant wants to hire someone who does not look like Mr. Bean, right? If you act like Mr. Bean, for those of you who don't know Mr. Bean, Google it. He's a famous British comedian. If you want to act like Mr. Bean, you're not going to get the job interview. Don't be Mr. Bean. Be Johnny English on a good day. Those of you who don't follow British comedy are not going to get those analogies, so maybe you should Google it.